he notices them, and so I quickly pull the Tunguskas out of the woods, and they'll make short work of the defences and helicopters. Unfortunately, in his haste to get the recon helicopter out of the way, he's moved it straight into the cavalry's firing line, which makes short work of it. A pity. There's another source of conflict between us, because he was adamant that I had failed to stop the AA helicopters, and it was my fault those guys had died, whereas we can see clearly wasn't. A BD arm unfortunately didn't manage to make it. It was trying to get around to see if Quebec could fall as Lima had. Unfortunately, these infantry were still here, and they made short work of it. Now my ally is probably regretting that he hasn't advanced. Soldiers from us have now landed with their VABs and are pushing straight into his base. As you can see, he hasn't built that much. He's got Smirches, Tunguskas, and a few Motostrelki. He's also got a few recons dotted around the place. Unfortunately, this is gonna. So now we're feeling quite bad. Although our other two allies have managed to push them all the way back to Foxtrot, and have done a good job of surrounding and cutting them off. We are now pushed back, with Hotel looking quite vulnerable, and a massive amount of forces directed against India. We're feeling that this could go bad quite quickly. He's now bringing in some Tu-55 flamethrower tanks to deal with the infantry. Good choice. Their flamethrowers are very effective in close quarters against all units, and they still have the T-55's gun. So a very effective unit, can easily deal with infantry. As you can see now, they're planning to consolidate their position. Our attack on Lima has made them quite a bit reluctant to attack, and leave their command vehicles undefended. And so they're setting up mortar positions to try and bomb us out of here. They try and advance one or two units to the bridgehead to see if they can get a few pot shots, but our tank destroyers will make short work of anything they're trying to send. At this point, I'm just bringing in as many Conquerors infantry as I can. Although I know the artillery is there, these are definitely the cheapest and most effective solution for dealing with the Abrams and the various other tanks they have, seeing as they cannot use the ATKMs on the Sheridans to their advantage. As you can see, he has retreated his Smirches. Unfortunately, he and the Tunguskas have managed to hold off the VABs. However, the soldiers from us are now coming to deal with the Tunguskas, and if they are not moved out of the woods, they'll make quick pickings. BTR Conquerors were brought in by one of our other allies trying to reinforce the line up here. Unfortunately, he wasn't aware of the situation here, and the Delta Force will make short work of him. Again, the ally was very insulting to other people, calling them epic noobs and stuff like that. It definitely didn't help the morale of the team. Whereas he's helping by bringing in unarmed recon. Very useful. At this point, I had spotted their command vehicle here. I knew he had artillery here, and at that range it could do a fair job of knocking it down. However, he was getting very irritated with me because of my command vehicle maneuvers and various other things, and he refused to provide support for someone who clearly didn't deserve it according to him. Pity. We could have definitely taken a volley of the Smirches, could have definitely dealt and finished off that command vehicle in Gilead, but he wasn't listening, so it's definitely getting a bit irritating between us. I'm now noticing the infantry here. I decided to help him out. I brought in some specialized units to deal with the infantry, hoping that if we could secure Hotel, he'd bring in more reinforcements to India and we could hold off this force. At this point, he said he was getting sick of the newbie team and hated the fact that we were pulling him back and holding him back. So he surrendered. I inherited his units. It's unfortunately it was too late because he left the Tunguskas in there too long. The soldiers from us made quick work of it, and now this meant that soldiers from us were now dug in with an FOB supplied to them. We were gonna have some troubles. However, the tides are turning with the Spetsnaz and the TO-55s. This will be a very good anti-infantry unit. Some more Sacrosans are being brought in, but thanks to the TO-55's cannon, they won't be too much of a problem. Tunguskas have also been brought in to help defense against any Canuck reinforcements for them and to cut down the infantry in the open. They're also using their cannons on the Sacrosans. As you can see, they've used some HUEs to drop off Delta Force into this area, hoping to take out my one remaining command vehicle. They've been shelling this area heavily with our artillery and knocked out one of them, although it would have taken them a lot less units. They send in an infantry force with 4 paratroopers and riflemen supported by a Zibbo flamethrower vehicle, but all the anti-tank defences make short work of that. Up here, the Tunguskas are now firing on the Delta Force, which have emerged from the woods to deal with the Spetsnaz, and the TO-55s are coming in to finish them off. You can see their armoured personnel characters of the riflemen and the paratroopers have been brought in, but there's just too many PTR Conquerors. Don't work. See, the fighting is very intense. The M113s are distracting the Conquerors, firing their ATMs. He also seems to be going for an all-or-nothing attack. This isn't that clever anti-aircraft artillery. The tanks just providing more targets for the Conquerors. However, they strike lucky, and we run out of supplies. As you can see, the Delta Force have moved incredibly close to my one remaining command vehicle. If they destroy this, we'd have definitely been quite at a very well a disadvantage. However, the artillery has managed to make me retreat it. However, as some compensation, the Delta Force pounced on the Tunguskas, which are a bit too close to the woods. Unfortunate, but I don't know. It was a good maneuver by them. 2 Tunguskas down, and a flank opened up. However, they're not thinking that our Tunguskas are down and we're now defenses against air forces. They're bringing in their Hog gunship helicopters. However, as before, the other pair of Tunguskas. Now their artillery has definitely weakened us. Not all of our anti-tank infantry have been wiped out. But the Tunguskas are still here, and they're still very much a threat, quickly knocking out the Hogs. Also, my ally has brought in some Mi-24P gunship helicopters. This will forces the Delta Force back into the woods. The Hogs were starting to open fire on the command vehicle for a second, but they were reprioritized to attack the Tunguska. At this point, the artillery and the number of Hogs overwhelms it, and they are unfortunately wiped out. However, they've definitely done their job. Also, the Mi-24Ps can open fire on these helicopters. They don't have any cannons for dealing damage to other helicopters, and the Mi-24's cannons quickly bring one down. At this stage, we pushed out the Delta Force from here, and my Spetsnaz going to try and recapture the FB. However, soldiers from us are very much still a threat, and wipe out the Spetsnaz. However, I managed to take out over half of their units, and now that I know where they are, I can bring in the TO-55s and more Spetsnaz to wipe them out. One of my tank destroyers is now retreating, and the Delta Force are advancing to try and cut it off. However, we still have these Mi-24s here. They'll make short work of the Delta Force. See, the Mi-24s open fire. Now, at this point, they know that our anti-aircraft defences are definitely down. We couldn't have had any more than 4 Tunguskas here. So they bring in an Apache gunship Mi-24s are now clear of the area, the hogs going down, the Delta Force are destroyed, and they're being pushed back across the river. We now have one tank destroyer with half its rockets left, and some Hinds to defend this command armor. So now the Apache's coming in, and however, we still have these two Mi-24s, and they are equipped with a Gishik 30k machine gun. The Apache's gun is superior to the Mi-24s, but it's outmatched 2-1, and there you go, another 165 points or so to us. Now the Spetsnaz in vastly superior numbers are coming in. It's a close fight as the Sorcerer's Mask can receive the benefits of the FOB, which is in their possession, and manage to hold on very well. Now I'm recalling the Smirches. The hotel has been cleared, so we can now gain access to the FOBs again. Combat level 4 for the Sorcerer's Mask before they fall, but hotel is now ours. The attack has been successfully repelled. Close, but there we go. Now I'm recuperating my force and can take a new look so let's take another look at the battle. Foxtrot's still there, so there's now a sort of stalemate between their defensive line and my allies' defensive line. I've now been left more or less in control of this side with the aim of just pushing them back. I know that they will have they have several units in there. They got Roland, they got artillery. Yeah. I didn't exactly know how much they'd thrown at India to destroy it. As you can see, almost all of their units have been destroyed, and it's put us at about a 1,200 point advantage. However, they do control Lima, Juliet, Oscar and Papa, which gives them a significant economic advantage over us. We only own Charlie and Bravo, so they're definitely earning more points at this point. As you can see, we're bringing in more PTR Conquerors and Fago teams to reinforce India. We still own it, we can bring in forces here. Up here I've brought in one of my recon helicopters that I was using to spot the Sorcerer's Mask here, and have a look, having a look around. Now I know that they had a command vehicle here earlier. My ally was too ignorant to attack it because he was sick of my bad decision making, but I've got his artillery now and we will open fire. My allies brought some T-55s to hold the line until we can get dug in. Definitely appreciated his help here. And I'm bringing in the Tunguskas from this side to deal with the Apaches and other helicopters they're bringing in, such as the Lynx TOW-2 ADM helicopter. See, push the line up here, and the artillery is opening up. Although the MI2 doesn't actually not have line of sight on the command vehicle, it's close enough to allow the width of the artillery to close down, and boom, CV down, 4 less points to them. Could have been so much earlier, but there you go. Conquerors now advanced. Their tow keeps and helicopters cannot fire at the Conquerors, meaning that they can knock out the tow keeps without any danger of opposition. And even more units are being brought in. The M's are being reinforced. However, unfortunately these ones are not vetted like mine ones were, so they'll take a bit of time to get their accuracy up to scratch. But we have definitely held on to India and Hotel despite all the forces thrown against us. At this point I've moved up and spotted another command vehicle here. Unfortunately, Smirches take a long time to aim, and I noticed this Roland was preparing to fire, try to retreat it, but oh dear, another one. Quick work made of it, and the command vehicle is now aware that after the attack on Juliet, another volley is probably heading its way, and so pulls away to another part of Mike.